Tonight, Toronto police identify the two men killed in a gun battle at a crowded street festival.
The violence at Salsa on Clair was reckless and disgusting.
The victims knew each other. The shootings targeted with innocent bystanders injured.
If you pull out a gun in a public space, in a public square, and fire it indiscriminately, that should be treated with the utmost seriousness in the law.
The calls for a crackdown. The U.S. ramps up strikes on Iran.
We're hitting them very hard, and it'll continue, and we'll see what happens.
Trump's threat to take control of the Strait of Hormuz and charged tolls contradicting his own administration. More Canadians are traveling to the U.S. again.
I have for 50 years. Why stop now?
What's behind the spring uptick?
From CBC News, this is The National with Juanita Taylor.
Thank you for joining us. Adrian is away. New details, but still few answers tonight from Toronto police about the deadly mass shooting at a crowded street festival this weekend. We now know the names of the two men killed, but still no word on who pulled the trigger. Police will say they believe the shooting was targeted, that two people were aiming at each other as they moved through the crowd. Toronto's police chief now calling for legal changes to prevent this from happening again. Many in the community are still in shock, some gathering for a vigil tonight. And as Jennifer Ewan explains, the police investigation is just getting underway.
The police tape is gone and businesses have reopened, but on the street in Midtown Toronto, there are still deep scars. This is the same spot on Saturday night when a shooting at a jam-packed street festival left 2 dead and injured 5. Police now releasing the names of the 2 men killed. 25-year-old Shaquan Kwashi and 20-year-old Cesar Vernaza. Investigators say they knew each other and that they were targeted. But the chief did not share any suspect information, wouldn't say if the men themselves were suspects or if they were innocent bystanders.
I'm saying that they were targeted, and in the process, there was other people that were struck by gunfire.
The chief explaining why he's leaving so much unsaid.
We are still gathering witness statements, as you might imagine. So we're going to let the witnesses make sure they're able to tell us their recollection in the most pure way possible.
But he is calling for harsher treatment for people who open fire in a public space as a deterrent.
When someone is shot and killed in a congregate setting, whether it's a stray bullet or because someone started a fight and pulled a gun, such offenses should be classified as first-degree murder.
This change is not part of Canada's recent reforms coming into effect later this month.
The legislation does address gun violence and gun crimes. It toughens up the sentences for that and restricts bail for instances of gun crime. So it really does get tougher on any instances where guns are used.
But others say in cases like this, shooters don't always think about consequences before pulling the trigger.
These sorts of shootings are what one of the experts in Chicago calls stupid. These are not well planned. These are emotional. They're revenge actions. So you have to look at something else if your aim is actually to stop the violence happening.
One thing that expert, Toronto's mayor, and the police chief all think could help cracking down on illegal guns from the U.S. Toronto police say the vast majority of the guns used for crimes are illegal, but they wouldn't say if the guns in this case were. The federal government said in a statement that's a top priority for them, too.
And Jennifer, how is the community reacting to this?
The shock is deep, but the community vows they will carry on. What they don't seem to all agree on, though, is whether they want the festival, Salsa on St. Clair, back in their neighborhood next year.
All right, thank you, Jennifer. The United States says it's carrying out another wave of strikes against Iran tonight while fighting for control over the Strait of Hormuz. Donald Trump says the U.S. will ensure ships can pass safely for a fee. But as Katie Simpson explains, there are growing fears the region will never be safe again.
The threat of a full-blown return to war is looking like a very real possibility. Iran says it's launched fresh attacks on U.S. assets in the region. The U.S. struck an Iranian naval base among its latest targets, using for the very first time, it says, unmanned naval drones, with President Donald Trump promising more.
Well, we're going to hit them very hard tonight, and we're going to hit them hard tomorrow. And there's not a damn thing they can do about it.
Hello, everybody.
It comes after Trump quietly notified Congress last week that fighting with Iran has formally resumed. And as the U.S. says, it will once again impose a blockade of all Iranian ports starting at 4 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesday. Trump is also proposing a new plan to keep the Strait of Hormuz open by charging a 20% tax on all shipped goods in exchange for safe passage.
Will become the guardian of the strait. Maybe we'll call it the guardian angel of the strait, and we should be reimbursed for that.
The toll plan is at odds with what the Trump administration has said in the past.
It's an international waterway. No country is allowed to charge tolls or fees on an international waterway. That's existing international law.
Senior Iranian officials are firing back. The foreign minister saying on social media, Iran has always been the guardian of the strait and will remain so forever. And before that, an Iranian military spokesman warned that if any country cooperates with the United States, it will be viewed as an act of war, threatening to reignite a broader regional conflict. There are no signs either side is willing to back down, sparking desperate calls for de-escalation.
The Secretary General urges Iran and the United States to urgently resume negotiations and to address outstanding issues through diplomacy.
The new U.S. strikes are being described as defensive in that letter Trump sent to Congress, suggesting possibly this is limited, but that's unclear. Trump has aggressively pushed back against any sort of oversight by lawmakers.
And Katie, what more do we know about these latest strikes?
The U.S. says it's targeting Iran's facilities that are used to attack ships in the Strait of Hormuz for the third day in a row, just as Iran is launching its own attacks targeting at least 2 tankers.
Thank you. That's Katie Simpson in Washington. Communities right across Western and Central Canada are sweltering right now as a heat wave drags on. Heat warnings were out for southeastern Saskatchewan, Manitoba, just about all of Ontario, and parts of Quebec. Environment Canada warned of temperatures in the mid to high 30s in some places, with a humidex of up to 45, including in Brandon, Manitoba, where tonight water levels have stabilized after the Assiniboine River peaked overnight. Still, it could remain high for days. As Cameron McIntosh shows us, residents are hopeful, but the threat of flooding isn't over yet.
Breathing a little easier for now. The Assiniboine River in Brandon, Manitoba, cresting overnight.
It's holding, it's dropping just the slightest bit.
Brandon's mayor says dikes are holding and pumps are keeping up.
And it's going to hold probably for a while, like a few days, and then it's going to be a very slow receding of the river.
The river here rose more than 2 meters in less than a week after a series of late June storms pummeled western Manitoba, causing damaging flooding in Manitoba's Parkland region. Downstream, Brandon had time to get ready. While the river is mostly contained, about 4,000 people in low-lying homes remain on evacuation notice.
I'm not fearful. I believe that we're going to be okay.
Still, Karen McKay has a bag packed, ready to go if circumstances change.
I'm hoping that it doesn't rain a lot, but we don't know those things, and we have had a lot of rain, and who knows?
A lot of water still has to move through the city. Morgan McCauley, who lives near the river, is watching it nervously.
It's definitely freaky, but I mean, there's not much we can really do except for just pray it doesn't come over.
In 2011 and 2014, Brandon was hit with bigger and more damaging spring floods and has since beefed up its flood protection.
When you built all this?
Yeah, I did it all.
Wow, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Don Ditchfield's property flooded in 2014 along with his store. He built up his own dikes.
So how fast did this all come up?
It come up very fast. And my friend of mine got married down here on last Wednesday. There was no water here.
The Assiniboine normally doesn't rise so quickly after the spring melt. Those summer storms drop more rain into the river system in less than a week than the region usually gets in a month. Mayor Fawcett calls it a new climate reality.
We weren't going to be moving the city, so we are adapting to what we've got now.
Now, of course, the big variable in all of this is the weather. Right now, the forecast is calling for little to no rain in the region. That's a good thing, but it's also sweltering hot. No one is ruling out the possibility of a surprise storm, which of course could push river levels up higher.
So then, Cam, how long will those evacuation notices remain in effect?
Well, probably at least until the end of the week, at least until when the river drops enough that it could handle some more rain. The big win here for the city of Brandon is that no one has had to be evacuated from their homes yet, and property damage has really been minimal so far. Juanita?
All right, Cameron McIntosh in Brandon, Manitoba tonight. In France, officials have arrested 2 people in connection to a wildfire forcing hundreds of evacuations south of Paris. More land has burned so far this year in France than all of 2025. While in southern Spain, residents returned home to scenes like this after a wildfire killed at least 13 people last week. At least 24 people are dead and dozens more are injured after a tragic bar fire in Bangkok. Sasha Petrosic shows the terrifying moments it happened.
Just before midnight, a singer takes the stage at a busy nightclub at the north end of Bangkok. Moments later, fire engulfs the building. Flames explode, possibly caused by a short circuit setting off decorations, say Thai officials. Many run in panic. Others, including the singer, are trapped. She never did make it out. I tried spraying the fire extinguisher, but the smoke and heat were too much, says Kaiwundong Pongpanai, frantically searching for his younger brother, later found dead. A few managed to get outside, their clothes on fire, and bystanders trying to smother the flames. Others run into washrooms at the back of the building, blindly looking for exits in the smoky darkness, say eyewitnesses. Usa Tadsri's 2 friends never escaped. They just had no way to get out, she says. Rescuers found a pile of bodies in that washroom. In all, at least 27 people were killed, some 70 injured. Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul later toured the smoldering bar, asking, could the exit door be opened? It was locked, the official answers. Police are investigating for possible negligence. Lax fire standards have been a persistent problem at Thai nightclubs, including here at a New Year's celebration in 2009, when fire killed almost 70 partygoers. It's not keeping foreigners away.
Life goes on.
But it is keeping investigators busy. And once again, many mourning. Sasha Petrosic, CBC News, Toronto.
A Colombian World Cup soccer player has reportedly gone into hiding after receiving death threats over his performance in his last game. As Caroline Bargut explains, the Colombian Football Federation is now calling for an investigation.
A week after Colombia lost to Switzerland at Vancouver's BC Place, ending their World Cup run, the whereabouts of midfielder Hamilton Campas remains unknown. Colombian media reports he hasn't returned home because of death threats. For this moment, a missed goal in the crucial final minutes that could have won the game.
I can't even imagine if he has to go into hiding, and it's not like there isn't an example of what can happen if in the eyes of the Colombian fans, you don't do what you're supposed to do.
In 1994, Colombian player Andres Escobar was shot and killed 10 days after accidentally scoring a goal on his own net in a World Cup match against the U.S. The man convicted of his murder was the driver and bodyguard for powerful drug traffickers who reportedly lost money on bets.
Colombia was in a really different place as a society from where it is now. So I was, to hear about this, it obviously harkens back to then and also is really disheartening in a lot of ways.
Campas last posted on social media on Thursday saying in Spanish, "I deeply regret not being able to bring you the joy we all hoped for, but I want you to know that there was never a lack of dedication, commitment, or love for this jersey," adding, No passion justifies hatred or living in fear. The Colombian Football Federation has called on the Attorney General to investigate, saying football should be a space for unity, respect, and hope, never a venue for hatred, intimidation, or violence. Campas plays professionally for a team in Argentina, and while he hasn't been spotted there, the team says it looks forward to having him back. Caroline Bargout, CBC News, Vancouver.
A Quebec court has found Peter Nygard guilty of sexual assault after the disgraced fashion mogul accepted a plea deal just before his trial was set to begin.
Mr. Nygard's change of heart was quite sudden.
The charges stem from incidents at Nygard's Montreal penthouse in the late 90s. The case is separate from his Toronto conviction, where Nygard was found guilty of 4 counts of sexual assault and sentenced to 11 years in prison. He awaits extradition to the U.S. on similar charges. A Health Canada report into a private plasma donation clinic at the center of a pair of deaths is raising serious concerns tonight. Inspectors found it cleared ineligible donors at risk for a dangerous disease. Christine Burak explains the concerns for Canada's blood supply and the calls for action.
Every drop of blood given or received in this country has to be safe. Canada has lived through a deadly chapter when it wasn't. Now advocates worry those lessons are being forgotten.
At every stage of this, the revelations have gotten worse and worse.
2 donors died after donating at private clinics in Manitoba. Now Health Canada's own inspection reports are raising troubling new questions. Redacted documents say that Grifols, a private company that pays people for blood products, made changes so unsuitable donors were eligible to donate, which could compromise the safety of the blood.
Non-compliant inspections and adverse events and now a risk to the blood system really are extraordinary.
Inspection reports from March 30th reveal Grifols accepted donors with risks linked to variant CJD or mad cow disease, which is fatal. The company ignored red flags, including a donor taking too many medications, operated over capacity, and did not have sufficient personnel with the appropriate education, training, or experience.
The questions we have for Health Canada are, did Health Canada remove those products?
Grifols says there were no products from donors with CJD risks, stating at no time were donors or patients placed at risk. Health Canada did restrict Grifols' licensing, including limiting appointments and mandating fully trained staff, but allowed clinics to stay open.
Shut this company down and ensure that we don't have another tainted blood tragedy in Canada.
Contaminated blood in the 1980s infected about 2,000 Canadians with HIV and 30,000 with hepatitis C. This blood safety advocate says action must be taken.
The issue, in my view, is that they're making a decision or multiple decisions to turn the other way so a private foreign company can make a profit off of Canadian blood.
She is now fighting for the family of 22-year-old Rodiat Alabide, who died after donating at a Winnipeg Grifols clinic last year.
She went there to help somebody else live.
The company and Health Canada say her death, along with another this year, haven't been directly linked to donating plasma. Christine Burak, CBC News, Toronto.
The Alberta government, Ottawa, and several oil sands producers have signed a memorandum of understanding for a carbon capture and storage project, a condition for the new West Coast pipeline to offset emissions. The MOU says the Pathways project is set to be completed by 2035 and would transport and store captured carbon dioxide in northern Alberta. An updated cost was not provided, but initial estimates were $16.5 billion. The agreement also allows for oil production to be increased in order to fill the pipeline to the southwest coast of BC. Manitoba RCMP have charged former MP Inky Mark with firearms trafficking and several other offences. They say they seized more than 400 guns from his Dauphin home as part of a months-long investigation, along with an antique cannon, ammunition, and more than $300,000 cash. Mark was an MP from 1997 until 2010, first with the Reform Party, then the Canadian Alliance, and then the Conservatives. It appears Canadians may be more willing to travel to the U.S. than they were a year ago. Cross-border traffic is picking up again, but as Nisha Patel tells us, not everyone is ready to head south.
Border crossings are busier as Canadian travel to the U.S. picked up for the third month in a row. Car trips south of the border rising more than 5% in June compared to the same time a year ago.
I'm even starting to hear French being spoken again at stores and at attractions.
It's a relief for businesses in border cities, which have seen a dramatic drop in Canadian visitors since early 2025.
It was quiet, for sure, and I think everybody who lives here, whether you are in hospitality or not, you definitely noticed it and realized it was missed.
Some Canadians started boycotting travel to the U.S. after Donald Trump imposed steep tariffs and suggested Canada should become the 51st state. But over the past year, there's been a push to win them back.
Border destinations in the U.S. Have been offering some type of at par or value promotions to help benefit the exchange rate a little bit more.
Canada! Canada!
World Cup games in 11 American cities may also have lured Canadians south. Still, travel hasn't returned to pre-Trump levels. Flights to the U.S. haven't rebounded, down nearly 4% compared to a year ago.
They've lost actually the most lucrative types of tourists, those snowbirds that are going down and spending 2-3 months there. And that's going to be a hard market to regain.
In Windsor, Ontario, just across the river from Detroit, some Canadians say they're keeping their travel plans.
I have for 50 years. Why stop now?
Others say they aren't likely to visit the U.S. anytime soon.
I have zero desire to go over there by any means whatsoever.
I don't like it anymore, and I don't like the guy running the whole show.
Despite the recent uptick, overall Canadian travel to the U.S. is still way down, about 30% lower than before Donald Trump took office. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
Sony has announced it's going to stop producing physical video games for its PlayStation.
If you don't own the physical thing, you don't really own it.
Why some are raising concerns about the move next. Plus, a new university set to open in the Arctic.
I miss being around Inuit. I miss being around our people.
What the historic school will mean for Inuit students. And later, crews fighting a wildfire get a very special visitor.
I've never had a goat specifically show up on the fire line.
We're back in 2.
It's a dinosaur.
Actor Sam Neill, known for his role as paleontologist Alan Grant in Jurassic Park, has died at 78. This comes just months after he announced he was in remission after battling a rare type of blood cancer. A statement on Neill's social media says he remained cancer-free when he died and that his passing was sudden and unexpected. A cause of death wasn't given. Well, Sony is facing mounting backlash over its recent decision to stop producing physical copies of new PlayStation video games. The company says that's in line with the industry's digital shift. But as Ruxara Lee tells us, gamers say they have a lot to lose.
It ain't supposed to go down like this.
Anger is brewing among some gamers over news Sony won't be making physical discs for PlayStation games starting 2028.
It is a huge slap in the face to gamers everywhere.
I am not too happy about this.
There's a big group of people that does still want physical games.
It's a particular problem at this used gaming shop.
Having a physical disc that you can share with someone and that you can be excited over and bond with over is something positive and creates a really good sense of community.
Sony says it's simply adapting to consumer trends. But experts say there's another element, too.
Physical games cost more to produce, right? They make more money off digital games.
Sony isn't alone in leaning into digital.
Customers here can't wait to get their hands on the new Grand Theft Auto coming out later this year. But unlike previous editions, it won't come with a disc.
Movies and music have also taken that route, limiting the ability to share media around.
It gives Sony greater control over what was a lot of leakage to the system.
But there's a risk when you can't actually hold what you buy.
If you don't own the physical thing, you don't really own it, right? We've seen cases where things have been deleted
off of our consoles, our computers, where servers have gone down or where companies have closed.
One Winnipeg gaming retailer has launched an online petition asking Sony not to kill the disc. It's collected more than 270,000 signatures so far.
I would think it would likely result in higher prices for customers as well, because if you can only buy from the digital storefront, there's no option to buy physical or to trade in your games.
At the Calgary retailer, there's frustration.
It's insane, you know, the fact that you can just have a video game taken away from you like with a snap of a finger seems like a foreign concept.
It could mean stores like this will have to find something else to sell. Roxarali, CBC News, Calgary.
Well, the first Inuit-led university is coming to Canada's Arctic.
We're trying to take back the centrality of our society. And I think that should resonate with all Canadians.
We visit the future site of the new school that's expected to be a game changer. Plus, Vancouver's looming drinking water crisis has planners looking for innovative solutions.
So how do we get more water when we need it? The first wild plan is the giant straw.
Joanna Wagstaff on how climate change is driving water restrictions and the plans to increase supply, coming up. A freight train derailed in southwest Calgary, sending 11 rail cars into the water Monday morning. Officials say the train was carrying construction materials, but there are no signs of a chemical spill and no reported injuries. The cause is being investigated. Well, a new initiative is in the works to build the country's first Inuit-led university in Canada's Arctic. Its curriculum will be centered in Inuit values and culture. Back in the spring, I visited the site of the future campus.
On the western coast of Hudson Bay, you'll find Arcvert, Nunavut's southernmost community, located about 200 kilometers north of Churchill, Manitoba. It's home to about 3,200 people, but in 4 years' time, this hamlet is going to get a lot bigger.
I am standing on the future site of Inuit Nunagat University, next to the frozen shore of the Hudson Bay. Once built, this will be the first university in Canada's Arctic led by Inuit.
A game changer for Inuit who have had no choice but to leave their communities to attend university.
I miss being around Inuit. I miss being around our people.
I just don't want to leave home.
For majority of students, it's a big deal to think about traveling outside of our home community to go to school for post-secondary. Knowing that you don't have to do that, that is a new way to inspire children to go to school.
We've come to learn more about what makes this university so different.
This is going to be an Inuit university that is founded in Inuit society and culture.
Natan Obed is the president of Inuit Tapere Kanatami, Canada's national Inuit organization. ITK has been calling for Inuit Nunagat University for decades.
Inuit have not had the same opportunity to have equity within this country. And from education, it has been largely a one-way street of us having to conform to southern-based education standards.
The foundation of this university is based on Inuit perspectives. Its courses are designed by Inuit, such as degrees in Arctic sovereignty, Inuktitut, and Inuit midwifery.
For, say, the Southern Canadians who are still wondering why Canada should care about this, what would you tell them?
We're trying to take back the centrality of our society. And I think that should resonate with all Canadians, that you want your students to have a grounding in the place that they call home. And we just want the same for ourselves.
About 70,000 Inuit live in the 4 regions that make up Inuit Nunagat, the homeland of Inuit in Canada. In 4 short years, they'll have the option to come here to Arcvert and get a university degree.
So this is the site, Joe, where the university is going to be built.
It'll be located right here.
Mayor Joe Savigadak Jr. lobbied hard for Agvet to win the bid to host the university's main campus.
Everyone's looking forward to the day that the doors open here in Angvet and hoping that people will get jobs and benefit from having high population of influx here in Angvet.
Growing by 500 people, from students and their families to university staff. Are you worried about that change?
There might be some serious changes that we have to adapt to, except the fact that we're going to grow so much in so little time.
Community members have questions about the changes ahead at this information session. With 500 more people, Agveamut Lake Joy Suluk believes the university could fundamentally change the nature of the community.
Our relationship with our neighbors, our fellow Inuit, is going to be watered down with more people coming in. If we don't prepare ourselves, I think we're going to end up like big cities, being isolated from everybody. That's what I'm afraid of.
While ITK and Agvet start preparing, Inuyak Leslie Fredland is finishing up her 4th year at NSCAD University in Halifax, a far distance from her home in Rankin Inlet, Nunavut.
I've always been interested in the arts. I just had this yearning to learn more.
To do that, she had to relocate over 2,700 kilometers with her children, but it hasn't always been easy.
I've experienced racism and microaggressions in relation to some of like the art I was creating.
Those frustrations and missing her people had her on the brink of quitting.
Why did I move us? Like all this time and all this energy, I did feel like quitting. I just wanted to quit. I just wanted to up and leave. To feel that so close to the end.
That's when she heard about Agvet's announcement.
It was so powerful. Our fellow Inuit will have that option. They'll have that opportunity.
Back in Agvet, Kukik Baker is busy with work and family.
You made a racetrack?
Before settling down, she took 1 year of social sciences at the University of Winnipeg after graduating high school and never went back.
I went from a class of 11 students with lots of support to just me and my husband living in Winnipeg. No other Inuit at the university that I knew of. Like a big culture shock.
Now Baker runs programs in Agvet based on Inuit culture. A university built on those same values excites her.
If we had Inuit Nunung at university when I graduated, I most definitely would have applied.
She's excited her boys will have the option of going to university right here at home. At John Angnalugjuak High School, culture and learning go together. Chichi Arinze is the principal.
Culture is the #1 factor that runs this school.
She's seen the struggle some students have when they graduate.
Even for our students who have graduated high school, not all of them are able to make the next step to go to a post-secondary institution. And for even those who go, they don't all complete their program.
Nearly 34% of Inuit completed a post-secondary certificate, degree, or diploma in 2021, according to Statistics Canada. For non-Indigenous Canadians, the rate was nearly double at 68%. Arinze says Inuit Nunungat University could make all the difference.
Has it been like a buzz around the school since Agvet was selected?
They are excited. I think it's going to continue to be a motivation to come to school.
Waiter, cleaning, helping with...
These students have mixed feelings about attending university in their hometown, like Aislan Kuksuk.
I don't think of going to the university here. I always thought of going down south. Traveling, I love traveling, so I would want to try become a pilot.
Logan Manek's graduating this year. This fall, he'll be heading to Saskatchewan Polytechnic. He says he's ready, but he's happy for Inuit who won't have to go south.
It's the first university, obviously, in Inuit land, and it's going to be a lot easier for people who haven't been to the south to go attend school and be more comfortable.
For grade 9 students like Samuel Curley, there's no question.
Doing university here and just go hunting, fishing, do the things I love. If I graduate the university, I'll be one of the first guys to be in one of the pictures.
For Alvet, that's worth celebrating. A new era of education in the Arctic led by Inuit, scheduled to welcome its first cohort of students in 2030.
Well, more than 8.5 hectares of land have been set aside for construction of the main campus, student residences, and for future planning. Coming up, bold moves to keep the taps on in Vancouver despite a growing population and a shrinking snowpack.
The Vancouver region are the highest per capita water users in the country.
How the region plans to keep hydrated 100 years into the future. Next. As Metro Vancouver's population grows and its reliable snowpack shrinks, the race is on to secure the region's water supply for the next century. Back in the spring, Johanna Wagstaff examined the city's bold plans to keep the taps running.
Vancouver is one of the wettest cities on Earth. Yet when it comes to drinking water, there's a crisis on the horizon. And the proposed solutions are kind of wild, like a giant straw, pipes you can drive through, maybe even a new source lake. Stick with me. Let's start by understanding the existing drinking water system. I'm standing in front of one of them. This is Capilano Lake, one of 3 reservoirs on the North Shore Mountains that catch the runoff from 60,000 hectares of protected land. That means no hiking, no camping, no human footprints. We locked down these watersheds a century ago to act as pristine catchment basins for Capilano, Seymour, and Coquitlam reservoirs. These giant holding lakes, if you will, provide the water to 3 million people. That's about half of BC's entire population. The genius of this system is the altitude. The mountains do the heavy lifting, using gravity as the primary delivery method. So massive pumping stations and massive amounts of electricity are not needed, just pipes guiding the flow down to your glass. It's a perfect passive system. For now.
We're very lucky with the system we have, but the system has its limitations. And when the reservoirs are full, they're full and they need to last us throughout the summer.
Which brings us to conflict number 1. Climate change. This whole system works because the snow we get in the mountains in the winter slowly melts through the spring and summer, keeping our reservoirs full when demand is the highest. I've looked at the projections for Metro Vancouver snow. By the 2050s, the average winter snowpack is expected to decrease by almost 60%. By the 2080s, that number is closer to 80%. We're already losing winter snow as the season shifts, getting more of our snow as rain. And we're seeing glimpses of what that looks like when we get to the bottom of our lakes too early. Tighter restrictions. 2026 is the earliest Metro Vancouver has introduced Stage 2 water restrictions on record. Basically, no lawn watering until the fall.
And so we know we provide a billion litres in winter, so 1 billion litres. It's the size of BC Place if you fill it up every day in winter. But in summer, that increases by 50%.
So how do we get more water when we need it? The first wild plan is the giant straw. By the mid-2030s, Metro Vancouver is launching a second water intake at Coquitlam Lake to double its water withdrawal. The water's already there, it's just physically out of reach of our current pipes. We're tunneling a brand new lower intake to grab that cold, high-quality water from the depths. Think of it like sticking a longer straw in your bubble tea to get the last few pearls at the bottom of the cup.
So Coquitlam Lake currently provides drinking water to about 1/3 of the region. And with the upgrade, eventually it's going to be able to provide more than half of the region. It's a very big lake. It's also very deep. The deepest part is actually below sea level.
But even if we have all the water we need, we have to move it. And we live in a major seismic zone, conflict number 2. Our water has to travel under massive bodies of water, like the Burrard Inlet, to get to your tap. I've done a deep dive into the liquefaction hazard maps, and the big concern here is that during a large earthquake, the ground, especially near the riverbanks, turn to jello. So if a main pipe snaps 30 meters below the water, you can't just send a scuba diver down to patch it. We could be dry for weeks. About 75% of our primary pipes have been upgraded to seismic resilient joints, designed to bend and stretch, like this one, rather than snap if the earth cracks.
Correct. This pipe here is 3.2 meters in diameter, so yes, you could drive a small car through there. It's challenging in the sense that, we do have to make sure that the pipes are the right size, right material, and it's going to be able to withstand these large earthquakes that, we're one day going to see, unfortunately, right?
But engineering can't solve everything if our habits don't change. And that leads us to conflict number 3, rising demand. We're adding 35,000 new neighbors every year. Based on forecasted demand and population growth, the region will likely need additional water storage by the mid-2030s if relying solely on the current system's capabilities. But it turns out Vancouver also just straight up uses a lot of water.
The Vancouver region are the highest per capita water users in the country. So, it's not a table we want to be first on, I think. So it's definitely a two-pronged approach. It's let's all use less and let's plan for the second intake at Coquitlam so we can access more of the high-quality source water that we have in this region.
Even with the longer straw and the bendy pipes, the math still doesn't quite add up for the next century. Metro Vancouver is evaluating 7 mega projects to get us through to 2120. We're talking about entirely new source lakes outside our current map, like Harrison Lake or Pitt Lake. Lakes, by the way, that haven't already been earmarked for BC Hydro use in the future. We're also talking about raising the Seymour Falls Dam by 53 meters. And these are engineering hurdles on unceded territories. Altering these waterways requires decades of engagement with local First Nations. Our 100-year survival equation is a race. Move water from mountains that are losing snow across an earthquake fault line to a sprawling city with a growing number of taps. But Metro Vancouver has planned for 100 years before, so they're betting billions that we can out-engineer the clock.
For the past month, Vancouverites have faced strict water restrictions while a major delivery line was shut down to allow critical infrastructure upgrades. That delivery line is now reopened, and public water restrictions will begin to ease starting Thursday. Coming up, the Colorado Springs Fire Department gets a new member.
I've never had a goat specifically show up on the fire line.
Goldie the Goat joins the squad next in our moment. This is Goldie, and yes, I'm talking about the goat. She wanted to loan a helping hoof to this fire squad fighting a wildfire in Colorado Springs. Well, Goldie followed the firefighters for a couple of days until the fire was successfully put out. Her 2 days on the job makes our moment.
I've never had a goat specifically show up on the fire line. I've certainly never had one chase our truck, a mile down the roadway when we're leaving. One of our other crews was sent to a small lightning strike fire. While they were there, this goat showed up, which happened to be Goldie, and she kind of hung out with them for the day and followed them around. She's, eating leaves off the trees while those guys are working. One of the Forest Service crew members sat down and was trying to eat his lunch, and she put her head over his shoulder and was trying to check out what he had to eat. When they were coming off the hill and heading back to their truck, she followed them down. The family that owns her, they live right at the very bottom of the hill. She wasn't really a nuisance at all. She's very sociable. It's kind of like having, like a therapy dog come by. She really didn't want us to leave by the end of the day.
Well, Goldie is short for Golden Oreo. She is a 4-year-old dwarf goat. Goldie is known in the area as a social butterfly, so her owners weren't surprised that she joined the crew. Now, the fire wasn't big. The department was putting out a small lightning fire in that area, and no doubt bringing some joy to a hard day's work. Well, from all of us at The National, thank you for being with us. I'm Juanita Taylor. Take care.